Okay, let's discuss the elephant in the room. I promise you, that wasn't even. Yo, man, you know what? There are three major things that have happened in the span of 7 months um, that have really, I don't know, that have just been great. And I thought I could bring that onto this platform and just document it. One being that I graduated, which is why I'm able to be fully committed to you guys. Hold applause. Secondly, I got married. And the reason as to why those things happened so close in time is because I promised myself that I would get married when I graduated. And until I graduate, there's going to be no ring on this finger. It just so happened that I had met my husband around the time that I was finishing school. So uh, he came at a good time. Okay. Because he would have been waiting.
I dance, but she don't know how to.
Ladies, I will say that you don't have to wait until you graduate in order to get married, but I will say that if there is something that is important to you that you feel you need to do prior to marriage, stick to your guns. I don't care if he promises you everything. I don't care if he tells you that you ain't even got to go to school because he got you covered. Cover yourself from head to toe in drip so that you go into marriage in drip and maybe get dripped out even more, but you had drip from the jump. Drip from the jump. That's what we preaching in 2019 and 2020. Drip. What did I say? Drip from the jump. Drip from the jump. Drip from the jump. Yep. I can't even preach my own thing. The reason I say that is because you can kind of get wrapped up in the beauty of love that you don't understand the amount of sacrifice and patience and forgiveness that is expected of you in marriage. Like, I don't want you to feel as though you're going to go into marriage resenting the person because you weren't able to do what you wanted to do prior to being married to them. Does that make sense to you? Does it make sense to me? But that's just me. I'm not saying that's for you. But if it is for you, I support you 100%. Whether it be finishing school, starting a business, having a certain amount of money accumulated before you get married, stick to your guns. No need to rush. Where it going? It's not going nowhere. What's meant for you will always be for you. And if it does go somewhere, that shit was not meant for you. And later on in life, you're going to be sitting down in your crib with your boo, with your kids, and you're going to be like, damn, remember that dude from 1995? He a bum now. And I could have been in the same garbage can as him had I stayed and rushed things. So, stay in your house, stay out of the garbage can. That's all I'm saying. I don't even know where this video is going, to be honest. Okay, back to regular programming. I graduated, and shortly after I'd gotten married in June, and I wanted a very private and intimate setting. A lot of people within the Solani community, they always link your self-worth to the type of wedding that you have, which has always been problematic to me because I've seen a lot of marriages that have happened in private settings that didn't work out, and I've seen a lot of weddings that were maybe very grand and spectacular that didn't work out. So to me, I was always like, I don't understand where this self-worth and expensive and extravagant wedding linkages. I never understood it, and because of that, I never wanted it for myself. Another reason was I felt as though all the weddings that I've gone to, as great as they were filled with people that A, were strangers to the couple, and B, were just, I don't know, it felt as though you were just showcasing like what you got. And I don't know, it never sat well with me. I never really wanted that for myself. I just kind of felt like if it was going to be a wedding, I would want those closest to me to be there, and that would be about 6 people. And so why waste so much money on wanting 6 people there? So I was like, I don't want a wedding, and I felt like this for a very, very, very long time. Prior to meeting my husband, prior to even dating, just as a youngster, I always told my mom, when I get married, I don't want a wedding, so pump your brakes. And she really didn't have a problem with it. So yeah, so I wanted a very intimate and private setting, which did happen. A lot of people did not know that I was getting married until I got married, and some people didn't even know until I was on the honeymoon, and I showed a couple of pics here and there from my honeymoon, and yeah, and I love those type of things. I love privacy, and I love people being confused about what's going on in my life, because that means that I'm living my best life, and the only people that know about it are those closest to me, and that is all that matters to me. But like I said before, if there is something that you want personally for yourself, what did I say? What was the word that I said? The little phrase. Do you remember? Um, Stick to your guns. Stick to your guns. Um, so if it is a wedding that you want, if something that you thought about for a long time, stick to your guns. Just say, hey, I I I want this, and make sure that it's a conversation that's had throughout the relationship, so that this person has time to save, and this person even just figure out if this person even wants to do that, because you guys may clash over that. So yeah, make sure that it's a conversation that's had, and if yeah, don't let it come between your relationship. If it's someone that you genuinely want and they're not able to give you that, don't let it be end all be all, because then that's kind of very, do what you want. Do what you want with it. That's all I can say. To be honest, I can't really dive into that, because it may be because I genuinely don't see there being a reason for it. It may be something important to you, and I don't want to make you feel like it's something that you don't need to do. So yeah, if that's what you want, if it's something that is very important to you, then stick to your guns. Last but definitely not least, I told myself that when you get married, you wait until a year before you at least have kids. Because to me, I wanted to be 100% in my marriage. And by that, I mean to know this person 100%, and for them to know me before we bring a child into this world, just in case, you might leave socks on the floor, and I don't like that shit. So, obviously, that's sarcasm, but something deeper than that, something that may not be for you, and the person just happens to be someone that you no longer want to be with. It's easier to leave when children are not in the picture. Not saying that if kids are in the picture, you can't leave. Sis, put on them sneakers and run, okay? I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is it's a much easier process. So, Me, obviously, I know my husband, ride or die for life from the jump. So I wasn't concerned with that. It was just I wanted us to make sure that we got into the rhythm of things before a child was brought into this world. And that was something that I did want, but I came to a point where I was just like, hey, I live my life on what ifs sometimes, and it is something that I gotta work on, because you cannot live your life in what ifs. Like, just live your life. But I had this moment where I said, what if God had given me the opportunity and I missed it because I chose to wait? And it is true, what is for you will always be for you. But I never want to wait and find out that I can't conceive or I can't have kids, you know? So I was just like, I would much rather start a family now. Funny story is I was already pregnant when I was thinking this, so God was just preparing me for pregnancy. My husband was down for 100%, and he had no choice either, because hello, baby's coming. But yeah, it was a conversation that was had. We both agreed upon it. We was already pregnant, but I'm glad that we had that conversation, and that is something that we both agreed upon. That it was like, yo, you never know, so don't jinx it. I know I keep on making little comments in between, but seriously, if that is something that you want to do, stick to your guns. If it is something that you want to wait on, if kids ain't even really for you, if you choose to opt out of parenthood, that's and that's something that you have the power to want for yourself. Nobody should change that. I'm just saying, for me, I wanted to be a mom, and I didn't want to wait on the process, only because I knew how beautiful giving life was, and how much of an honor it is, and the fact that not everybody gets that opportunity. I had a fear of that being me in the future if I didn't take on the blessing now. So I don't know, that's what happens when you live in what ifs. I've always wanted to have children, so it worked out for the best. I mean, alhamdulillah. But yeah, so there's a lot of topics to discuss within this platform. So if you guys want to talk marriage, we could talk marriage. If you want to talk wedding process, we could talk about wedding process. If you want to talk about just school, we could talk about school and the stress that comes with that. And mainly I want to focus on pregnancy, because that is something that is happening in my life right now, and that is something that I genuinely need help with. Because there's a lot of questions that I have that could be answered by other first-time moms, and those that have already been championing through it in motherhood. So yeah, that is my video. I don't know how long it is. It's probably long as hell. But I'm glad to be back. And yeah. So yes, that's the end of this video. If you liked what you saw, like the video. If you got anything that you need to say, comment. And if you really enjoyed my content and would like to see more, subscribe. Come on now, it's not that hard. So I will see you guys next time. I'm not going nowhere, so stop your crying, and Hershey out.